Athlete comes in, chief complaint, onset mechanism. Our chief complaint with the, onset with the elbow, a lot of it is going to be valgus stress from throwing. We get a lot of fall on the outstretched hand, boom, they're going to fall. So we want to look at thinking about the medial side, medial compartment, lateral compartment. We've got the anterior and posterior compartment, right? So when we think about that, chief complaint onset mechanism, next thing we do, obvious deformity and swelling. We're looking to see if there's any obvious deformity and or swelling. We talk about with the bent elbow, this isosceles triangle, MEOH, LEOH, olecranon process. So we're just looking at that, looking in that area for any obvious deformity and obviously swelling. Our palpations, I like to start on the medial side. So I'm going to bend elbow up. I get on that MEOH. If I'm on the MEOH, we take and flex. So I'm telling her to make a fist and flex and resist me. While I'm doing the palpations and I'm palpating the wrist flexor pronator group, I can do MMT. I'm going to rule out medial epicondylation. Then I get her to relax. So I'm on that belly of that flexor mass. I go right underneath it for my UCL to see if there's any soreness. Trying to differentiate between medial epicondylasia, UCL. Then just below that, I've got the median nerve, so I do a little tap. Also, any tingling numbness down to the fifth and fourth fingers. Tap, tap, tap. Okay? Then I can move to my lateral compartment. So I bend her elbow. I'm out here on the LEOH. Now you say, well, John, if our pain's on the medial side, why would I look at the lateral side? Well, out in the real world, maybe you won't, but for our real time, we want to hit it all, right? So I'm out here on the LEOH. My IP is on the LEOH. I'll palpate on that, really come out my whole thumbnail. If I'm on the LEOH, I want to check for the extensors as they come in there. So I'm going to have her bring her wrist back. So I'm looking at that supinator wrist extensors for lateral epicondylation. Rest. I can also have her supinate and pronate. I'm on the radial head, annular, and collateral ligament right there. What injury am I worried about with other than the lateral epicondylasia? Fall on the outstretched hand, pain on the lateral elbow, radial head, especially from a Fuchs type injury, right? Now I'm going to move here to the olecranon. I'm on the olecranon and the triceps tendon. I had a couple of golfers here recently that just had some tricipital tendonitis. One was kind of on the medial side as it hooks in, and the other one was kind of on the lateral side, more muscle belly. Okay? So you can get some of that in that area too. So once I go through, those are all my palpations, and I also did a couple of exams in there, right? Now, from active range of motion, I just want to see, can you flex it all the way up? Can you extend? I've already done wrist flexors and extensors. Didn't necessarily isolate supination, pronation, but now I can test for MMT, just my biceps, pull up strong, triceps push into me, right? So I did that real quick. Then I just want to see any pain and deep flexion, and then I take her into extension, kind of like a bounce home with the knee. We're going to bounce her home here, see if she gets any pain in that fossa area back there. Looking for any, especially if they were having pain back there around the olecranon, for any osteophytes, bony spurs, right? Now that I have her in full extension, I want to go back to the MEOH. I go underneath the flexor mass, 0 degrees, valgus stress, UCL. I bend her to about 15 to 20 degrees, valgus stress. I've got her at about 20 degrees. I keep her up here in this position. I'm going to externally rotate. I'm going to use my thumb to give a valgus stress. Milking maneuver. See how my finger never left the UCL? I want to... When I'm doing a valgus stress test on a knee, I can appreciate that laxity, right? With the elbow, I can't appreciate that as much, but I can appreciate them through this painful arc of the elbow. right? Taking them from 70 to about 120 of elbow flexion. I'm looking for pain as I get her. I'm trying to mimic a throwing action, right? When they take their arm up like that. So I'm going to milk the thumb, valgus stress in the 90-90 position, and then this is what moves. So I'm pushing this way with my thumb, fingers on the UCL, and boom, just like that. Okay? Then I can come in here and I can do 0, looking at the lateral side. Boom. I get the lateral side with the varus stress. And then the last thing that I want to do is I'm going to have her do the pinch test. So she's going to pinch her fingers like this, and then I'm going to try and pull out. A positive pinch test would be if she flexes that finger like that. So she goes like this. She can't keep it nice and flat. So that particular test is called a Frohman sign. That is for ulnar nerve. Makes no sense to me either, right? This is my radial distribution. I don't get it. But a lot of times I'll do this more for the UCL of the thumb than I do for ulnar nerve problem. I'm going to tap ulnar nerve mostly. So will I take points off if you forget to look for the Frohman sign? I don't know. Maybe it just depends on the mood I'm in. You ask me first. Will you be upset if we don't do? Okay. So then with the other, I'm going to get into, is there any tingling or numbness? All right, so do you have any tingling or numbness going down into your hand here? I don't have to do the full neuro, okay? And then I'm going to check radial pulse, okay? That's for your elbow, okay? So that's real-time elbow. Tingling, numbness, elbow. You don't have to do